we're back for another day. Now, as you can see, these days can go pretty quick, but only if you allow them to. So let's make sure that we have all the principles in place, that you get into bed early, that you're timing your meals, you have the right macros that you should have within these meals, you should have the right sources of fuel within these meals. Are you hydrating yourself? Are you controlling your environment on the weekends? Make sure you have all these principles intact and you'll have the transformations that you crave. So the first exercise for back is going to be the straight arm banded pull down, but you're just going to do one arm at a time to really isolate your lats. So you're going to grab hold of the band there, step out, so you can feel the tension at the top of the movement. And then you're going to come down, get a good squeeze, squeezing that shoulder blade back as you come back, and then get a real good stretch up. And really focus on your lat during all the movements. So you come down, pause, squeeze your shoulder blades back, and then get a good stretch out of the lat here, where I'm pointing. Squeeze, and then back up. Once you've done the required repetitions of 4 sets to absolute failure, you move on to the other side. When performing this exercise, I want you to stand up straight with tight posture, chest up and chin up. You're going to grab hold of that resistance band overhead with one arm. So you're going to target one side of the latissimus dorsi muscle before moving on to the opposing side. When you grab hold of that resistance band, I want you to ensure that there's resistance applied before you even begin in the starting position. This will allow constant tension on the lats. When you pull down on that one side, I want you to pause for 1 second before stretching out. Once you've completed all the repetitions on that one side, you will allow this lat to relax while you work the opposing side. Remember, it's very important for you to breathe during your workouts. You need to oxygenate your brain so you stay focused and you get plenty of oxygen-rich blood throughout your muscles so you can perform at your best. Now that we've pre-fatigued our lats, we're going to move on to the traps, and that's with a bent over dumbbell row. When you perform this exercise, which is going to be 4 sets to 12 to 15 reps, make sure that your upper body is parallel to the floor. So the rep range is going to be 12 to 15 repetitions here in total for 4 sets. So let's keep it intense. Bend over, keep the legs slightly bent, upper body straight, and squeeze your shoulder blades back, leading with your elbows. Flaring them out to the side and pause at the top. When you're performing the row movements with your dumbbells, you're going to focus on your traps as the primary mover. You're going to work your lumbar, your erectors, and your lats as your secondary muscle groups. When you're performing this exercise, squeeze your shoulder blades at the top for a split second and then come back down. But do not allow your arms to lock out straight so you can keep the tension applied to your traps. Mind-muscle connection is very, very important throughout these workouts. I want you to picture the muscle moving. Buy yourself an anatomy chart. Look at the attachments and the origins of every single one of these muscle groups so you have a better mind-muscle connection and you know how a muscle should feel when you're moving it. Now we've hit the traps with dumbbells, we're really going to isolate that contraction with a band now, with seated, banded rows. You're also going to get a little bit of lats in that movement by keeping your elbows tight, squeezing your shoulder blades back and then forward. So you're just going to need your resistance band and a floor. So grab your band, sit on the floor, put the band over the bottom of your feet, and you can grab hold of the band near the bottom so you've got extra resistance. And then you're going to have your upper body straight. You're going to row back with your elbows tight to your side and then forward for a good stretch. Squeeze your shoulder blades back, keeping your upper body vertical and your legs straight, and repeat. When performing the seated banded rows, I like you to be in a seated position. So sat on the floor, your back straight and aligned. I need you to have your knees just ever so slightly bent with a resistance band over the bottom of your feet. When your arms are out straight, there should already be resistance placed upon the bands. You're going to be targeting your traps and your rear delts throughout this movement. And you're also going to get some secondary movement throughout your lats. To keep the constant tension applied to these muscle groups, I want you to squeeze for a second at the full contraction, and then as you straighten your arms back out, there should already be resistance when your arms are locked out, but do not pause there. Come back and pause for a second, only in the full contraction before repeating. Breathing is very, very important during your workouts. Very often you see people turn red or purple. This is not good. Keep your core tight, but squeeze and breathe at the same time to ensure that you perform at your absolute best. when you're performing the concentric part of the movement or the positive part, or when you're actually pushing, that's when you breathe out. Remember, if you have to scream to push that exercise because it's so hard, you have to exhale. Now we're going to combine both the dumbbells and the resistance bands. So we're going to hold the resistance band and the dumbbells at the same time, so we can have a little bit of extra resistance at the top portion of the motion, and the dumbbells will pull us down towards the floor. All right, so we're going to place the dumbbells on the floor, and then we'll stand on the band. Hold the bands near the bottom so you get extra resistance when you come up. And then you're going to grab hold of the dumbbells at the same time. So when you pick the dumbbells up, make sure that you have your back straight, look straight ahead, and come up. Now you're going to go down towards the floor. Just before you hit the floor, the tension will release from the bands and you'll come back up for a good squeeze at the top. Make sure that you control this movement by keeping your back flat and squat down into it and push through your heels. Often people ask me how much weight that they should be utilizing when they're performing an exercise. Well, simple. If I give you a rep range of say 15 to 20, but you end up performing 25 to 30, then the weight is too light for you. So you'd need to go heavier. And consequently, if you only were able to perform say 5 or 10 repetitions, then the weight is too heavy and you should go a little bit lighter on your next set. Now, I always say you need to reach absolute failure in order to succeed in the gym. So when I say failure, when you're performing repetitions, you should reach absolute failure, meaning that you could not perform one more repetition even if your life depended on it. That is failure, and it's the only place in the world that we have to reach failure in order to succeed outside of the weights area. Now you need to push yourself to failure on every single working set. So quite often people will say, okay, I'm gonna reach failure on my third and final set. No, you need to reach failure on your first set, your second set, your third set, every single working set. The only set that you do not reach failure are your warm-up repetitions and your warm-up sets. Okay, we've got some great momentum going on now. Remember why you started this. Who are you trying to prove wrong? Is it yourself? Is it other people that doubt you? You can put their doubts to the curb now as you continue to push yourself towards that end goal and walk out a success. Now you're going to be a little bit out of breath after hitting back. It's a large muscle group. But now we're going to hit an even larger muscle group by targeting our legs. So that's why it's essential that you do your cardio every day so you can continue to be intense in the gym. So we're starting off now with a reverse dumbbell lunge. So you'll need 2 dumbbells here, so let's go get it. So we have 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps here. Remember, when you count, you're going to count on both sides before you count that as a single rep, okay? So it's going to be like this. 1, 1, and then 2. And then 2. Make sure your upper body is straight. You step back far enough so both your front leg and rear leg is at a right angle when you come to the bottom. Drive through your heels on the way up. When you're performing this exercise, to begin, I'd like you to step back into a lunging position. And by doing so, you're going to target your glutes, your hamstrings, and your quads in your working side. And you're going to alternate one leg before moving on to the opposing leg. To keep your posture aligned, be sure to keep your chest up and your back straight. Do not lean forward as you lunge back or lunge forward throughout this movement. To keep constant tension applied upon these muscle groups, do not lock out your legs at any point on this movement. Keep them slightly bent at the top, and of course, do not allow your lower leg to drop its knee to the floor. Okay, you committed to this, so you better follow through. Don't get taken off your goal. Don't be meandering or navigating a way out of it. You started with this commitment. Are you somebody that follows through or comes up with an excuse? The choice is yours. So our final exercise for legs now is going to be the RDL, or Romanian deadlift, where you're going to have your legs just slightly bent. So you're going to target your hamstrings instead of your lower back. So it's going to require a lot of mind-muscle connection. Now you've got 3 sets of around 20 to 25 repetitions here. So very similar to a conventional deadlift. However, your legs are going to be a little bit straighter, and you're going to bend forward much further with your upper body. So you're going to come down, like so, and then up. Down, and then up. So just a slight bend in your legs. Drive through your heels on the way up. Concentrate on the hamstrings, doing all the work, not your lower back. And then as soon as you get to the top, you repeat, coming straight back down. When performing this movement, I want you to stand up tall, chest out, chin up, and shoulders slightly back. The primary movers that you are going to target throughout this exercise is going to be your hamstrings and glutes. You will get a little bit of lower back involvement as well as your secondary mover. When performing this exercise, I want you to keep tension applied upon the hamstrings by not hyperextending when you are at the top. You're gonna bend over, you're gonna come halfway down your shins with the dumbbells that you're holding before coming back up to the top position, squeezing your glutes before returning back down. Make sure that you keep your back flat throughout the entirety of this movement, particularly when you start to get tired. Make sure that you're breathing through every single one of your repetitions. Remember, when you're pushing out, that's when I want you to breathe out. So just think that the exercise is so hard that you have to scream. In order to scream, you have to exhale. Now this movement is a little bit peculiar. It's called the Nordic hamstring curl, but we can do this at home as well. All you'll need is a couch or somebody to support you at your ankles. I'm gonna use a couch in this instance. So I'm gonna drag the couch over here, throw my ankles underneath for support, and then slowly take my upper body down towards the floor, using my hands as a support, and then to bring myself back up, I will target and pull through the hamstrings as much as I possibly can. So we're gonna go down to the floor. I'm gonna put one foot underneath the couch here, then the other one. I'm gonna support myself onto my knees, upper body straight, and I'm gonna slowly go down, hold myself there, and then pull myself back up with my hamstrings. As soon as I feel the hamstrings start to relax or disengage at the top, that's when I know it's time to go back down again. Keep the upper body straight, try to control the movement, and squeeze your hamstrings at the top. When performing the Nordic hamstring curls, you should be on your knees with your upper body straight. I want you to keep the posture of your upper body the same throughout the entirety of this movement, so your back should be straight. The muscle groups that you are going to target are specifically the hamstrings, and you will get a little bit of involvement throughout your glutes. To keep constant tension applied to your hamstrings, I want you to come down very, very slowly, under control, and then just put your hands out in front of you as you start to get to the bottom to push yourself back up. As soon as you feel your hamstrings start to disengage at the top of the movement, that's when you return by going back down. Now remember, to focus on your performance, you have to dictate it by your recovery. So make sure that you're getting your sleep, that you're hydrating, that you're managing stress so you can perform at your best. The first exercise we're going to do for biceps is alternate dumbbell curls. You've got 4 sets of 20 to 25 repetitions here. And remember, you count once you've performed with both arms. So that would be 1 rep. That would be 2. And one of the biggest mistakes I see when people do this is that they don't rotate their palm enough so it's facing up towards the ceiling. So keep your upper body completely straight. You're gonna curl up, palm up towards the ceiling, then palm facing the body, and same with the other side. So come up, and then down, no swinging the body, and don't bring the opposite arm up until the arm is completely straight. When performing this exercise, you should be in a standing position, chest up, chin up high, shoulders slightly back. There shouldn't be any swinging from your lower body. You're going to be targeting 1 bicep at a time when hitting this exercise with an alternating fashion. To keep the tension applied to your bicep, come up and squeeze at the top with the working arm. When it goes back down to the bottom, it will now disengage and rest while you work the opposing arm. Remind yourself of why you started this goal and why you should finish it. Write your goals down every day. Read those goals every day. Read them back to yourself and make sure you reaffirm those goals every day. Okay, we all write down goals. We all talk about goals. We all share our goals, but how many of us actually achieve them? So make sure you do everything that you can to write down the details, because the details are what add up to your biggest goal that you can achieve. Next exercise we've got with dumbbells again. However, this time you're going to be seated and you're going to perform a hammer curl. So your palms are going to be facing each other. So now you're going to come up both at the same time and then back down. Palms facing towards each other and then down nice and slowly. Up to your shoulders, keep your elbows tight, keep your upper body straight. When performing the seated dumbbell hammer curls, I want you to keep your upper body straight, no slouching. Shoulders back, neck straight, and back aligned. When performing this movement, I don't want to see any swinging from your lower back, no body momentum. The muscles that you're going to be targeting are the biceps, and you're really going to try to thicken the biceps with this movement, targeting the brachialis. To keep the constant tension applied throughout this movement, when you come up with both arms at the same time, pause at the top for a second before going back down, straightening your arms, and then immediately coming back up. No pausing or resting at the bottom of this exercise. Now remember, it isn't all about how you begin these workouts, it's how you finish. So make sure that you focus on your last set as strong as you did on your beginning sets. So don't get distracted. Focus on pushing yourself to the very end. Final exercise is going to be called the dumbbell drag curl. So when you're dragging the dumbbell up your body, the elbows have to come back. So usually you'd have your elbows pinned to your side. This time they're going to come back. So palms facing forward, elbows slightly in front, and then drag up your body and then down. And this will really isolate the biceps, especially after you've done the 2 exercises prior to this. Up to your chest, and then back down. When performing this exercise, I want you to stand up straight with your chest out and head straight looking forward. I want you to keep constant tension applied to your biceps when you drag up by pausing for a second and then getting a good stretch at the bottom, but no pausing at the bottom of this exercise. The area that you are going to target with this exercise is going to be your biceps. You're going to bring those elbows back, bringing your palms up. However, I don't want to see any swing from your lower body, and I don't want you to lean from your lower body. So now you have an understanding of where your limits lie. So let's push past them. Push past any limits that you've put in front of you. There are no limits, only your limitations. Completing those last sets as hard as you possibly could is where all the change happens. If you do what you've always done, you're gonna get what you've always got. So make sure that you push yourself harder this week on those last sets than you did last week. So now we're done with biceps. We are now moving on to our abs. We're going to be hitting the lower abs with lion leg raises. So you're going to go 4 sets to absolute failure here. You're going to lie down. You can have your palms by your side or up either side of your temple. And then you're going to come up and back down. Bring your butt and lower back off the floor if you can. And then back down. Slowly down. Control the movement. Don't allow your heels to touch the floor. Just bring your feet overhead. When performing the lion leg raise, I want you to start by lying on the floor with your knees slightly bent and feet flat on the floor. You are going to target your upper abs, your lower abs, and your obliques. Your primary mover is going to be your lower abs in this exercise. keep constant tension applied throughout the entirety of this movement, I want you to make sure that you lift your feet up and never allow them to touch the floor. You'll bring your feet up over your head, and then you'll allow your feet to slowly lower down, and just an inch or two before it touches the floor, with your knees slightly bent, I want you to return to the starting position. That will keep constant tension applied to these muscle groups. Okay, here we are. This is where people either fall off or they move forward and they come up in a winner's circle. Do you want to end up on the podium, or do you want to be just another number? Be a success within yourself by pushing yourself every single day, marking off every single meal and every single workout to absolute failure in order to achieve your goals. Awesome job, great workout. Now I do suggest that you do some post-workout cool down to make sure that you get the toxins and lactic acid out of your body so you can prepare yourself for tomorrow's annihilation.